Hi, the Tyke from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got a book to read for you. Today, book of Curious George discovers plants from 2016. So let's get started. Have you ever wondered where the fruits and vegetables in your grocery store come from? Most of them are grown on farms, far away and come by truck, train, boat, or plane. Are you curious about how vegetables and other plants grow? George is curious too. George was enjoying market day. He likes the fresh fruits section with its cucumbers, artichokes, beets, spinach, carrots, and onion, to name just a few. George wasn't sure where vegetables came from, but he sure loved to eat them. They had as many different tastes as shapes and colors. I was thinking about cooking vegetable soup tonight, George, said his friend, the man with the yellow hat. But then I started to think of Chef, famous fresh vegetable soup and his spinach raviolis. Maybe we should go to his restaurant, the man asked. What do you think? Yeah, thought George. At Chef's restaurant, they sat at their favorite table and placed their order with the chef's wife. We both like fresh vegetable soup with extra carrots and spinach ravioli, the man ordered. Wait, chef, cried as he emerged from the kitchen. I am out of fresh vegetables. We have finished the carrots and spinach. George would worry. What would they have for dinner? Why don't you pick some more vegetables? The wife asked. Would you like to come with me to pick the vegetable? The chef asked. George nodded and followed him eagerly. We're going up to the roof, the chef announced. George was confused. Don't vegetables come from a market? Some vegetable grows on the farm far away, then travel to the store, where they sit around until you buy them, Chef explained. But my vegetable grow here. The chef proudly waved his arms at all the boxes filled with dirt. I pick them, I take them down to my kitchen, and they go into your belly all on the same day. That's fresh. George was still confused. Where was the fresh vegetables? George watched in amazement as Chef grabbed a spring of greens and pulled a carrot out of the dirt. What's this? Chef pulled another green sprout out of the dirt. A weed. Weed are bad. They soak up the water and nutrients from the soil that my veggies need to grow, the chef explained. If I don't have fresh vegetables to cook, I may have to close down. George wouldn't want that to happen, but I don't have time to pull the weeds out after working all day, Chef added. That night, George worried about Chef. Weed problem. He lied in bed while the man read him a bedtime story, but he wasn't paying much attention. Before he knew it, George had an idea. He knew how he could help Chef. The next morning, George secretly took some gardening tools from the chef's roof and began to dig up the weeds. He dug up every green thing he saw. He packed all these leafy greens into three trash bags and threw the bags away. George was excited to see the chef's reaction in the garden later that day, but the chef was not happy. Oh no, chef explained. The weeds are gone, but all my vegetables are gone too. Who could have done this? George felt bad. He realized that he didn't know how to tell the difference between a weed and a vegetable. Do you think you could? I will have to plant all new vegetables, the chef announced as he took out some seeds to show George. Can you believe this little seed will grow into a carrot? George shook his head. It was amazing. The chef dug a small hole in the ground with his tools. Scooping the dirt out, he placed the seed into the hole and replaced the dirt. I'll water and fertilize the seeds regularly. The chef saw George puzzled look. Fertilize means to feed? We will have new vegetables in 3 to 4 months, chef said. I won't have fresh vegetables to use for cooking until then. George was curious. Why did it take so long? Maybe it didn't have to. Maybe a little monkey could come to the rescue. George ran home and took all the carrots he could find from the refrigerator. He ran back to the roof garden and began to dig a hole where the carrot seeds had been planted. George carefully placed one full-grown carrot in each hole that he dug. It took a long time, but finally George finished pulling all the carrots he had brought from home in the ground. He put the tubes back where he found them. The next morning, Chef found a big surprise. My carrot grew this big overnight. It's a miracle, the chef called out. When George arrived late in the day, Chef was still talking about the carrots. Now I won't have to close the restaurant because I will have fresh veggies. The chef scratched his head. I wonder why the eggplant and squash didn't grow. Oops, George had forgotten all about them. Tonight I will plant peas, Chef said. I hope it will work again. George left as soon as he could to get more vegetables from his refrigerator. He found fresh eggplants and squash, but no peas. He looked in the cabinet. There were plenty of canned peas. Could you guess what George is going to do? The next morning, the chef found fresh eggplant and squash in his garden, along with canned peas. He called to his wife. It happened again. The peas are in cans. It's magic. Call the TV news. The chef was excited. He asked his scientist friend to come and study the special dirt in his garden. At home, the man with the yellow hat had discovered that all the vegetables in the kitchen were missing. George, he called, do you know what happened to all the veggies? George nodded. He led his friend out of the house and over to Chef. When the man arrived at the rooftop garden, he finally understood what George had done. Well, it looked like George had been your magic gardener, the man explained. Our vegetables had been going into your dirt. Ah, our garden isn't magic after all, the chef said sadly. But your cooking skills is, the wife replied. Absolutely, everyone agrees. That's right, said the man. You can cook up our vegetables any day. Everyone helped pick the veggies, and the chef invited all his friends to stay for a delicious lunch of vegetable soup. George's plan was a success after all. So that was Curious George Discovered Plants from 2016. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment. Have a groovy day with another video coming out real soon.